I'm doing pretty well, Crypto. How about yourself? What's a nice topic? Perfect. We're into the 3 minute mark. I've been rambling.
Sorry about that. I got a little screwy there because I had yesterday's video playing in the background. And here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. All right. So we got one person in. As always, what we'll do is start off with a 3 minute delay just so people can get checked in. I think in that 3 minutes, I could kind of talk about. I got some junk on my bed, so I'm trying to hide it. So that's why I keep adjusting. I have like clothes over there. All right. So yeah, in these first 3 minutes, we could kind of chat it up. If there's any questions that come in while other people are queuing in, I'll answer those questions before I get into my spiel. But this is the dirty work, which is my daily blog that is meant to capture everything between failure and success for people who are pursuing projects, pursuing an entrepreneur's life, pursuing, I guess, things that are uncertain. So I hate that social media only celebrates the milestones and the successes. And I think we need to do more as people to celebrate the journey and really educate our peers as to what goes into this. I always hated when people would call my success luck because it's not. You know, a lot of it is the actions that I've taken, and there is some luck kind of factored in there. Like, you know how they say that luck is when opportunity meets preparation. At least that's a quote that I've always heard and always thought about. You can only get lucky if you take action and you were prepared for whatever the opportunity was, right? If you went on to Who Wants to Be a Millionaire and you're very knowledgeable and you hide the junk, then guess what? You're not gonna get there, or you're not gonna do well if you don't know anything, right? Or Jeopardy, whatever it is, you got to study for that. So from the outside, people only see your snapshots of you went to college together, you talked a lot of crap in college about what you wanted to do. 10, 15 years later, you're doing it, and they want to kind of say that you're lucky. I'll tell you where my luck came from, or what I would consider my like luck. Number one, I'm born of immigrant parents. My parents are from Haiti, so we are the descendants of slaves. Brought to an island that it's pretty clear that most of the Caribbean, geez, most of the Caribbean islands were not built out to be colonies, true colonies, like the South American countries, for instance. They were built as extraction points to cultivate sugar and whatever other produce they could from those environments. So the infrastructure was always bad, et cetera. And Haiti, uh, one of the things that we're celebrated for is being the first successful slave rebellion and first black independent country in post-slavery or post-colonial world. But that set us back in major ways because we got kind of blackballed from trade, and we didn't really get much of the same Western development that could have helped us into the present day. So now Haiti's a mess. But I was born to these parents who also came from, I would consider, above average means because they were educated. They were able to immigrate to the United States, and they were able to make their way here, right, legally, which is kind of uncommon now. So I'm lucky in that I was born to those parents, born to parents who valued education, born to parents who were willing to work and pay for my private schooling, born to parents that were entrepreneurial or hardworking. My dad has been at his job for about 30 years, and he's consistent. He's never switched his job after he became a respiratory therapist. He hasn't gotten fired like I've been fired many, many times. And my mom's an entrepreneur, so and always willing to take chances. So I was lucky in the category of, conception, right? And I'm lucky to be born and raised in the United States in an era where there is more equality than there has been in the past. Those things are lucky. I had no control over that. Maybe I swam really hard as a sperm cell, but who knows? So I might have had good positioning, right? So can't really say that I was the best swimmer out there. Um, but that's where I said the luck is. Everything else is a byproduct of the actions that I've taken, because there's many other people who are born with this American birthright that gives you access to education. Doesn't give you access to healthcare really, unless you're poor or old. But it gives you access to education. It gives you access to credit. It gives you access to one of the simplest or easiest to navigate business environments. I haven't seen any other country that is as pro business as the United States. Um, and a lot of those people don't do anything with this luck that they've had. So it's really a matter of preparation meeting the opportunity. That's where the luck really happens. That's where the magic happens. For today's video, that my tip of the day, which I guess is kind of coming in a little bit late, is, let me see if I remember this correctly. I actually don't remember what my tip of the day was now that I'm off on this rant. But it's in my description. um, wow, I don't remember. Anyway, so either way, you could reference what that was. Total brain fart. And now that I'm under pressure, I can't think about it. Let me see if I could pull it up. No, it's not anywhere in my details. I typed it up in my details and I neglected it. But whatever, man. If somebody knows what the tip of the day is, please just shoot it to me and I'll expand on it. Um, if not, then whatever. I guess I'm gonna break off into questions now. All right, so first question is penny stock investor. First of all, don't invest in penny stocks, man. That's number one. I'll tell you why. Penny stocks are pennies for a reason. No reputable public offering starts in the penny range. Any notable public offering that you've seen, they're going to be priced 20, 30, 40, $50 per share. Just look at recent IPOs. And these are companies that, especially those that are promoted, like, well, let's just look back at the Facebook IPO. Facebook didn't IPO in the pennies, right? Google either. So stock price is completely driven by supply and demand of that asset. And if a stock is in the penny range, that means somebody wants it. And if the smart money doesn't want it and the general public doesn't want it, it's typically trash. And a lot of people look at penny stocks and they're hoping for like the 10-cent stock that goes to $100. That's so unrealistic and so unlikely. So whenever I see that, I just think, bad idea. But anyway, I'm glad you bought your first single family house. Is it wise to sell now and buy a duplex? Why would you even sell it? I keep about 80% of what I buy. I prefer to have that paid down. I remember my tip of the day. I'll get into that. Okay, so I prefer to buy down. I prefer to buy and hold and pay down my debts while I cash flow and while the property hopefully amortizes and gets paid off and also appreciates. So I'm not in the camp of selling a property unless the prices have run so wild and you're going to be able to get way more real estate at a bargain with the proceeds from the sale. I would recommend that you keep that. And if you can, the next property you should buy should be a triplex or a fourplex, not a duplex. Start with the biggest amount of units in that 1 to 4 family range, and then work yourself down, because that's an easier story to tell. You had a fourplex, your family expanded, so you got into a triplex, so you could have more personal space, then a duplex, and then you go into a single family home. That story plays out better with lenders. That way, by the time that you get to your single family home, you have seven, nine, you have 9 units plus your single family home for a total of 10 doors using FHA every time, or conventional loans every single time. But if you're doing a fourplex with conventional loans, you're gonna need 20% down, or even 30%. So let me just expand on what my tip of the day was. My tip of the day was related to real estate, and that tip of the day was to use Pinterest to capture some design ideas. Um, People ask me, like, how do I go about designing my spaces, whether it's on Airbnb or it's a property that I'm reselling. Where do I draw my ideas from? And I always draw it from Pinterest. I literally go through Pinterest and say small bedroom, white bedroom, dark colors, whatever kind of mood I'm in, and they'll start feeding me pictures, and the Pinterest algorithm keeps feeding you photos that they think you're looking for. And I'll then use those photos to help me price materials, to help me really drive home what my overall design is going to be. And then once I've narrowed it down, I give that to my contractors so that they know exactly what I'm looking for, right? As far as color usage, accent tiles, especially in the bathrooms, how I want the design or the layout of the tiles. Is it going to be herringbone, chevron? Is it going to be straight line subway tiles or some other combination? Or are they going to be like Spanish tile mosaics? Whatever I'm into. And I give them that example, and I also give them SKUs. Sometimes Pinterest allows you to see what SKUs and where you can source those materials. But that's what I do in all of my renovations, especially when, like, a year or two, usually for like a 2 or 3 year period, I'll do similar looks. But then I kind of wait to see what becomes the new look. And as I start to see looks kind of move in another direction, I reevaluate and create a new set of looks. Back in the 2006, 7, 8, 9, 10, earth tones were in. So you could do like a travertine bathroom, and that was nice. And then you had like earth tone mosaics. Those would not fly. Now it's like whites, grays, um, silvers, blacks, kind of like these white neutrals, I would say. And that's more of the color scheme that you would come to find in newer properties. So I'm in that space as far as design is concerned. When I start to see that move, like right now, I see a lot of Spanish tiles being used on floorings in kitchens, and it's cute, but I feel like it's a short-term fad because it's too ornate. And whenever things are too ornate, they tend to go out of style quickly, and I'm kind of staying away from that. I'd probably do it in a rental property just to exercise that skill, but it's something that I would care about for some time. I would stay away from that. Especially think about if you did your bathroom with mosaic, like a Spanish style or Moroccan style floors. In 5, 6 years, it'll clearly be outdated, like pink tiles, right? In bathrooms, everybody's seen pink tile bathrooms. Don't know why that was in, but it was, and they looked like crap. So I think that's too far from uh, normal. That it's cool to do just because it's kind of in style, but over time it doesn't stand the test of time. I try to design based on what can last a while, just so if I'm renting that property out and I decide to flip it in 7 years, 10 years, that the look is still somewhat contemporary and not too dated or not too time period specific. Is then at 7 and 10 years, people will say, okay, this looks old or outdated. So that was my tip of the day, because I am now handling a few new projects. So I have my project in Fort Lauderdale, which I posted yesterday. So that project I have to project manage because this is the first one down in Florida. My project manager is in New York. He's overseeing the 5 properties or so that we're doing, about 5 coming this month in New York, in New Jersey. So he's not down here, right? He's not helping me. So I have to step back into the seat of being a project manager, selecting the finishes, communicating that to the crew that I'm working with. Um, I'm also starting construction on my 2 properties in Italy. They're planning on starting either this week or next week. I just wired the funds to my boy Sean. He's actually an owner. He's actually how I found my contractor in Italy. I was walking by his house. His house was under construction. I walked in, met the contractor. They told me to meet the owner who was coming in from London the next day. We became friends. So I'm transferring him some funds, and he's bringing those funds to Italy since he's going there next week. So that's how we're routing the money uh, to avoid that tax. But that's what it is. Saving me like a good 30% on construction cost. But I'm in that mode of really isolating what I want the property to look like. And I'm going through Pinterest and drawing inspiration from there. So I always advise those of you who are interested in investing in real estate to draw your inspiration from Pinterest, recent sales, flipped properties, new construction, because then you can see what designers are working on and how they're utilizing color and space. And that could save you so much. Never, ever, ever, ever let your contractor pick things, because they will pick things that look horrible. Please trust me on this one. I've seen it so many times. Just buckle down, use your Pinterest, get your pictures, source your materials, identify where you're going to get it, identify the final look, and give them the blueprint of what you're looking to achieve. If not, you're going to be unhappy and it's going to cost you double what it should to get the final look that you're looking for. Or you could hire an interior designer. Many of them are going to be fairly cheap. You might be able to secure one at like $40 or $50 an hour. Contracted, they might charge you a total of like $500 or $750 as a retainer to just select colors, select tiles, and give you an overall vision for the space. And I think that's even well worth it if you don't trust your eye on Pinterest. But I'm gonna break off to the questions now and see how much I can engage you guys. Also, just remember this Thursday, going live 8 p.m. 1 hour seminar on how to invest in 1 to 4 family real estate, talking about my program, Killing the American Dream, talking about my invest and learn opportunities so you can be directly mentored on how to invest in real estate. I'm not the best self promoter, so these are things I should say right in the beginning, but whatever. That's this Thursday. Expect to see me start pushing a little more on that as we get closer to Thursday. But it's really just to talk to you guys, explain the program out, show you what the value is, in my opinion, and see who's looking to move forward. So definitely tune in on Thursday for that seminar. Actually, that's going to be on Zoom. So you have to go over to entplife.com, pre-register on that page. I think depending on your device, the page might be a little screwy, unfortunately. But pre-register so that way you could get the invite, the link, and we're going to have like this closed door seminar with a little bit of Q&A at the end. Okay, Suzette. Hey, what's up, Suzette? How are you? Use Pinterest to source design ideas. Yep. Penny stocks, you agree 100%. Okay. How is the progress on your Italy property? I think I just touched in on that. We are starting renovations. I'll be about 75% of the way for the properties in total. The last bit, I have some, I guess, fine tuning and decorating that I want to do. So hopefully I either will pay a contractor to do it, but I kind of want to be around for the detail work. That's repainting the cabinets, stylizing the kitchens a little bit better, sourcing my appliances, that sort of thing. And then obviously my final furnishings and towels and decorative items, artwork, that sort of stuff I'm going to do in person. So by, I would say, the end of November, I should have some updates on how renovations are going. And hopefully I get out there and I'm able to finalize and do my final reveal as well as start diving into how to photograph your Airbnb space so that you can post on Airbnb, how to get kind of the best visualization of a room, how to use color, all those sort of tips and tricks, just so I can show you how you can do it so you get, I guess, a little more throughput when people buy in or click into your Airbnb posting. Another thing about that, yeah, I want to be there for that last piece. I don't want to pass it off to somebody else. Um, Hi, Carl. Finally happened on your. Oh, well, welcome. Damian Roberts. Great info. Thank you. I appreciate that. A little off topic. Let's go. But would appreciate any answer. What are your thoughts about running home care, home health in New Jersey? So sorry for stepping off your main topic. Listen, that's your question, right? If you didn't ask it, guess what would happen? You wouldn't get the answer. So you got to take your shots when you take them. You you miss every shot you don't take. So New Jersey, I really don't know that market that well. I don't know what the payer scene is like. I don't know how Medicaid friendly that state is. And I would say if you're gonna do it on a skilled basis, um, and you're gonna go the Medicare route, I would say go for it because that's pretty much the same throughout the country. It's just a more difficult start. And if you're not really into healthcare, I wouldn't push the home healthcare business. The margins are kind of thin. You have to be pretty smart about how you go about marketing. It's not one of those places that you could. It's just a money grab. I think a lot of people view it that way, and maybe even in me promoting starting one, it seems that way. But I think it's got to be a passion of yours. If not, it's gonna be hard. Maurice, good evening. Do you have any tips for ENTPs? How to organize your life and business? Man, I'm still trying to figure that out, Maurice. But I do have some tips. For me, I work within the time frame that my attention will hold. That's why real estate is really good for me. I tend to be interested in new things all the time. And a lot of businesses and work requires you to be very repetitive to be successful. I need to do more project-based work that I could find my success within that 6 month time frame where I'm able to stay focused, or I'm able to generate enough cash flow and enough from that operation to pay the consistent people to maintain and grow what I've started. I'm very good at planting a lot of seeds. I'm not so good at harvesting, right? That's the classic problem with an ENTP. So if you're an ENTP and you're running into that, really try to identify what your focus length is and operate within that focal length and know that you can only start projects that you can complete within that time. Or otherwise you're going to just waste your resources, waste your time. You're going to have something that was pretty good that just gets abandoned or neglected because the new shiny thing took your attention. As far as organize yourself with personality types that really thrive off of your strengths. I think ENTPs are really great at innovation. We think outside the box, we think beyond the box. We're always looking for ways to improve systems. So if you focus on solving problems and you're able to see problems quickly and kind of come up with clever solutions, you need those people who are really good at executing. The people who are going to go work off a checklist every day, who are going to document everything exactly how they should be, really sharp accountants, really sharp role players. So you have to build a team around you, especially in areas where you're lacking skills. And that's why it's important for you to know that you're going to be able to generate enough capital if you're talking about business, that you're able to generate enough capital off of your initial idea to bring on those role players. because those role players are what's going to make the difference between your success and failure. But good question. Thank you for asking. Crypto Hero, I'm doing well. Hopefully you are as well. Nurse Liv, BSN RN. Hello. I have a survey coming from my agency. I really don't want to fail. How can you help with what I need to get ready? Get out of here. I can't help you with that. I'm sorry. I got my own agency to run. Honestly, this is what I would recommend. Anybody out there who's starting a home healthcare agency, hire a consultant that only does this. If you're getting ready for your survey, for instance, when I was getting ready for my survey, my consultants gave me this long checklist of everything that we should have ready. My accreditation body gave me a checklist as well. Do you know what we did? We worked directly off that checklist, organized everything in the order that it was on that checklist with reference tabs so that whatever they were going to ask in the survey was readily available so we didn't look like bumbling idiots. Okay? Our 2-hour survey took 45 minutes and we got thanked for being organized. That's the best thing I could advise you. If you don't have those checklists and you're not being counseled, I guess what? You're going to come off as disorganized. You're not going to come off as prepared. And the surveyor is going to see that and they're going to start picking at you. So if you are working with a consultant, potentially pay them to do a mock survey with you or give you a survey checklist. Make sure all the items in the survey checklist are complete. But for me to help you on that, even at my top rate of $1,000 an hour for consultation, I just don't have the time or the will to sit through that because I have to focus on my own business and my own things. Sharif, what's going on, man? I'm doing well. Dr. Bell, why'd you hide your question? Okay, Dr. Bell, I have one Pinterest folder for each project. I find it helpful for coming up with a look that is cohesive. Thanks for the live tonight. Yeah, I do the same thing. I do one folder. Well, actually, I'm lying. I'll have like a folder for kitchens. I have a folder for master baths, and then I have a folder for like bathrooms. And I'll just store, right? As I see something, I'm like, oh, this is a cool kitchen. I'll add it to my kitchen folder. But when I go into a project, I'll start a project folder. I'll have a before, and then I'll have an inspiration where I just start pulling ideas together. I look at those ideas, I narrow it down to the look for my kitchen, the look for my bathrooms, the color scheme, exteriors, etc. And then when I'm done with the project, if I don't feel too damn lazy, I will add my final pictures to my Pinterest. I usually have my final pictures for my listings anyway, but I don't always put it into Pinterest for the rest of the world to see. But when I'm feeling, I don't know, like I have the time, I add it. But that's a good way of looking at it. I break it down into those 3 parts. Sapphire Lady, I'm looking to hire someone who understands warehouse logistics. I would highly recommend that you hire somebody from Amazon or Wayfair or one of those organizations who are doing really well with warehouse logistics. If you could poach an employee from that institution, they're going to come with so much. The trial and error that Amazon has gone through to educate their managers, even their basic staff, is going to be better than most. So even if you were to hire like a middle manager or something like that from a system like Amazon or Wayfair, and you were to give them, I don't know, pay raise, maybe some equity in your new operation, what will happen is they'll bring ideas to the table a lot quicker that are tested and proven. Thank you for that long and extensive answer. Sorry. Lots of good aspects for ENTPs. I appreciate your good work. Oh, and I appreciate your time and you coming here. This is the last question from Damian Roberts because I'm at 29 minutes and I promised that I would keep this at 30. so I could go work out. What's more profitable, healthcare agency or healthcare headhunter? I've never done the analysis. Um, I would imagine the agency, and the only reason why I say agency is because of the scale, and you could still function as a headhunter. For example, let's just say you had 2,000 nurses working for you, right? They're working on travel assignments, they're working on per diem assignments, temp assignments, whatever. You still have that pool of employees working for you. When you're transitioning that, like let's just say an institution wants to hire them full time, you usually have to negotiate in your contract a rate of 15-20% as the headhunter fee or the recruitment fee or the buyout fee. At the same time, you should probably have someone on your team pursuing contracts for your agency as well as trying to place as a recruiter, or maybe several people who are filling those roles, because you should have this pool of employees. How you monetize that pool, whether it's per an hour, making the spread over what you're paying, what you're earning on your contract, or these bulk transactions, I don't see why you can't have both sides of the business in there. And everybody else, I only see 8 likes on here. Please, man, slap a like on this. This is it for the dirty work number 45. Sorry about the glitch in the beginning. I'm still trying to get this right. Even though I'm 45 days in, this is different variations of it. And I haven't perfected it just yet. But anyway, yeah, make sure you like this video, share it, rewatch it. Always your questions are welcome in the comment section below. If you need to rewatch this, ask another question. I do answer questions. Right now, I'm not too big that I can't answer it. So when questions do come through, I try to address everybody just so you get something out of it. I hate asking questions that are left unanswered. So I try to make sure that I answer people's questions. Sometimes I will refer you to one of my other videos because I've already answered that question, and that's a whole lot easier. Ellery, good night, man. Good night, everybody. I'll see you tomorrow. And I'll probably be expanding more on real estate. So those of you who are interested in real estate stuff, tune in. We're probably going to be talking more about the projects I have going on. I have one Airbnb that's getting set up, so we can talk about that. Till then, have a good night. Have a good life. Bye-bye.